Okay, I am at week 2 of not smoking weed. It has been 2 weeks since I've smoked, and I feel better than I felt 2 weeks ago. I was thinking before I made this video to share a little bit more about the type of stoner that I became. Basically, I would wake up in the morning and the first thing I would do is grab a blowtorch and then heat up a glass banger on a dabrig. And then I would start my morning before I even got out of bed with a dab or several dabs. And I did that for a couple of years, maybe about a year and a half, while I was a teenager, when I was around 18 to 19 years old. And I went to the dentist one day, and my dentist gave me an oral exam, and then he looked at me and he asked me if I smoke concentrates. And there is just something inside of you that sinks when your doctor can tell what specific drug you're using. So I said, yes, Dr. Dentist. As a matter of fact, I actually do smoke concentrate, and he told me that he can tell and that I am developing white spots on my gums that are basically pre-cancerous spots forming. And while that scared the hell out of me, I continued using weed for multiple years after that. And I justified it by switching my method. I thought, okay, I'm taking it too far with wax and dabs. I will go down to using mostly flour. I mostly used flour for a while, but then I ended up back in the slavery of using wax. I ended up using wax pens again. And it got to like this almost state of feeling like I'm insane because I was every time I used wax, I was just thinking about mouth cancer. And wow, just the lengths that I went to try to control my usage of it got to the point where I'm counting hours between wax pen hits, only allowing myself to hit the wax pen once every 12 hours. And that was difficult for me to do. So, okay, that's just kind of a side note. I didn't really, I posted a video on October 30th about, it's titled "Smoking Weed Sucks." And you can just tell in that video that I am faded off weed making that video. And so I didn't include all that information in it. And I have a lot more that I can share about the way I was using. But that's just sort of to put it into perspective, how heavy of a user I was, is that I was literally forming mouth cancer through it. And wow, how many people out there who are smoking wax pens realize, or smoking wax in general, realize that they can get mouth cancer from it? Because people think that weed is this harmless flower that comes from the earth and it's different somehow than other drugs, right? Anyways, at 2 weeks though, wow, I feel good actually. And the reason I feel good is because I'm actually quitting for myself this time. And I actually feel as if I was ready to really fully quit this time around. There's the aspect of how sick I became from using a few weeks ago. That definitely was the straw that broke the camel's back for me in my usage was getting a pretty bad sinus infection this last time around, and just realizing that I cannot continue living this way. I'm not, like, it was not a way to live. It's not a way that I want to live. I want to live in a way that is prioritizing my mental and my physical health. And being a stoner who smokes day in and day out is not congruent with that. And furthermore, all of the people that I draw inspiration from, none of them are potheads. They are not smoking weed every day. They're going to the gym every day. They're eating clean every day. And they have healthy outlets. So that's also another thing that really helped me quit this time around, is the outlets that I have formed over probably the past several years. And those include writing and working out. And I think that diet is actually a really huge part of my ability to cut back from smoking weed. Because once I changed my diet around a year ago to mostly animal-based foods, high fat, low carb, like almost zero carbohydrates, my anxiety and health really improved. My anxiety levels went down significantly, and over the past year, since I realized that that's the way a human being should eat, I've sort of fallen on and off of it, off of my ideal plan. But as of this past month, I'm really back on committing to that high protein way of eating, and that's probably the biggest factor actually in reducing cravings. I actually really have not experienced many cravings these past 2 weeks, like at all. I actually don't. As I said in my video last week, I do not even have the desire to be high anymore. And I've always heard people like talk about that shit in programs, and I just always thought, must be nice, sounds nice, like to not want to use the drug. But I think like when you really get down to the root reason of why you're using it, and you address those emotional and internal problems, it helps a lot. A lot. There's something else I was gonna say about how I'm feeling off of it now. My sleep is improving. I am not experiencing post-nasal drip every night. I can feel my body still healing and recovering from the use, because I used it every day for 7 years. And I did not want that to become 10 years, and then 15 years, and then 20 years. So yeah, you learn all kinds of fascinating things when you fuck up your own body. So I was researching post-nasal drip, which is when you can't breathe because your nose is so congested. And I learned that the human body is so cool, actually. Our sinuses, basically, like the reason it's sometimes easier at night to breathe through one nostril than the other is because your sinuses, like the sinus pathways, I don't even know how to explain this, but the way sinuses work is they're almost on a schedule. Like one nostril will be closing up to allow airflow through the other, and they switch off like throughout the night, like on a regular schedule that normally a human being doesn't even notice, right? But you notice it a lot when you're either sick or you're a smoker, because your sinus pathways are inflamed, and when that minuscule compression happens naturally in one nostril like it's supposed to every day and every night, you are hyper aware of it and you can't breathe at all through that nostril. So yeah, this is my 2-week update. I am so happy. I am so happy that I'm quitting right now, that I'm not smoking weed right now. And that's on Ja. So, also, I just want to say I should have started the video with this, but thank you to the people who are supporting me a lot. Anyone who's leaving comments, I don't care if it's hate. You know, bring it. I would love that. But like, I really love the support, and just, yeah, I'm just really grateful for it. Like, thank you guys. And I hope I can motivate other people to quit weed and show them that, no pun intended, the grass is way greener on the other side. But you cannot, obviously, nothing can happen until probably, I don't know how to put this. I'm just gonna say for myself, nothing could have taken me away from weed besides myself, okay? Nothing could have separated me from it. Nobody could have convinced me to quit using it until I don't know how to put this, until I was ready to. Until I just got so sick of my own shit that I couldn't tolerate it anymore. Have a good day.